How's it going?
Ryan, what up, bro? What up,
Goose is
boy?
here as well. And he might be.
Yo.
Goose D was just asking me how we find our co-hosts and our speakers for each event.
Great question. Actually, the emojis help a lot, but we'll usually just, I know a lot of the guys, so I'll just like shoot them a text and be like, hey, do you want to throw a party with me during this time? And most people are just like, yes, that sounds amazing. I was thinking about throwing a party anyway. And then a handful of others, like, what was a good example? Dubai is a good one. We'll pull up the school map and just like start cold DMing a handful of people. And at this point, we get probably like a 50% conversion rate to a free event, which is pretty good.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart, bro.
Yeah, good to finally meet you, man.
Good to meet you too. And everyone else on here too. I know Michelle and Mindy and Ryan, but I don't think I met anyone else before.
Yeah, welcome
Nice to
to
meet you, dude.
I've never seen you before in my life, bro.
Quincy,
Yeah.
what were you about to ask? You didn't get to.
I was going to ask, like, what type of what are the predominant categories of the people that like attend your like masterminds? Like when they do come through, like to the cities, like do you find like certain territories have like, oh, there's more tech communities, community owners, and then there's more like hobby ones than this one? Because that'd be an interesting thing. Ryan, we're both Aussies, brother.
I was gonna say you're up fucking late, bro. Holy shit!
I'm in Bali at the moment because I'm doing the festival, and so we just landed like a couple of hours ago. But
nice.
Yeah, it's more later for you though, isn't it? Aren't you based in like Melbourne or something?
No, I'm in Thailand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wicked.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. We're both living the Asian dream.
Yeah.
That's right, dude. How long you staying there, Quince?
Just for a festival, and I'm playing there, and then I'm playing in Darwin for another one.
Oh, fucking hell.
Saturday.
What are you playing? What are you playing?
Just like a festival. It's like a drum and bass festival called Locust.
Sick.
What are you playing?
And then I play drum and bass, so I'm a drum and bass producer. So yeah, it's very niche. Robbie, there's another muso right here. Oh.
Yeah, I'm like Robbie.
I was thinking about Robbie today. I was like, where is that motherfucker gone? He won the school games, and he was like, "Fame got to me. I'm out."
Not too big of a head, man.
Yeah.
Sam got to me. He was dropping some bars.
Yeah, he loves to rap.
That's
his thing, man. Oh, where you been, Robbie?
I've been gallivanting the streets of New York City, but Sam said something crazy. He was like, because people are asking him all these questions about content. He was like, "Why don't you just make what you want to see, like what you want to see, what you want to hear? Just make that." Which is cool, which is like very in contrast to like, the business copy what works mindset. So I've been climbing that mountain trying to make some crazy content like that.
Hell yeah, Robbie.
Locking it down. I hear that, dude. That's sick. Yeah. And D, where are you at?
I'm in Davenport, Florida, which is like close to Orlando. I've been here like I think 2 months now, but since 2021 I've been living outside the US mainly.
Yeah. So are you going to be back to Hungary sometime soon? Because we're going to have that event at your chicken place thanks to Curbs.
Bro, like they're so obsessed with that place. I'm not sure, man. Like that's something like me and my wife were talking about, like what's the next destination and like how long we want to stay there and when. But like the goal is Hungary is just like the timeline of when. But now that you've kind of thrown this event out there, it's like how can we possibly make that work out sooner than later, maybe? What is it that you guys would need help with out there?
Eating the wings.
Yeah, eating food.
Yeah, I can't finish it alone, man. It's too many chickens. I think probably just getting a small gathering. I mean, it's a last minute thing. I don't think we have that huge of a population there, so it'd probably be like, I don't know, 5 to 10 people, which would be very similar to what we did in Japan.
Yeah, I lived out there for like 2 years, so I know like a decent amount of people. So
people on school?
Oh, that's a good question. there's not really a lot of like people I know in Hungary that are on school. Actually, it's like when I was bringing it to them, I think most of them hadn't really heard of it. And so, is it for people specifically on school or like entrepreneurs in general?
Well, but sometimes we get entrepreneurs there, but the conversation does often go to the strategies surrounding communities. So unless you're planning on putting it in your horizon, yeah, it's I guess entrepreneurial until you're done, and then you're like, oh yeah, I need a school. So yeah, entrepreneurial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask like an actual like mastermind question? I need some help.
Boom. Let's do it, baby.
So
Oh,
I
and
just
happy birthday,
launched.
sorry, one
Oh,
sec. I just saw Mo. Your freaking birthday, dude. Happy freaking birthday, man. Sorry, I just missed that. I was like, I'm seeing these out of the corner of my eye. All right, sorry, I interrupted you. Hit me.
Happy birthday.
No, happy birthdays are more important. No, so I had my YouTube channel get like 8K subscribers, and I had no one on there before when I did the Iman thing, and I was like, shit, I don't know what to do with these people. Create content, blah blah blah. Anyways, I decided to follow Sam's pick a wheel strategy, and I was like, should I stop doing high ticket and then launch like a low ticket community for the ghost operating? Like, should I just lean into that? And I clicked the pick a wheel, and the pick a wheel said yes. And so I totally just stopped doing one-on-one high ticket and launched the ghost operating thing, and I'm creating content around it. I've had 8 people join on like low ticket from YouTube, so officially like moved away from sales calls, all of that stuff, and it's doing all right. Like I did it like 2 days ago. 8 people joined already at like $50 a month. I might look at increasing the price at like more members once they join, and then I was like, shit, I don't know what to do with my free community. So I've got the free community, and it's like raking in traffic from school. I'm getting like 1,400 about page visitors, and it's converting at like 45%. And it's like, I think it's just from school's traffic, with all school running heaps of ads now and everything. It just makes a lot of sense. It's not the YouTube. My YouTube is generating 600 about page visitors to the current about page, which is nice on the paid one. So like the traffic's gone up. But I just have no idea what to do with the free community. Like, do I transition it? I've removed it from my profile, but I am like looking to like scale the ghost operating thing like as far as I possibly can. And then from a high ticket perspective, I'm just going to partner with creators. So I'm like, what do I do with my free community?
Sick, dude. Wow, I love that you went straight into it. Just burn the boats. Great strategy.
I was like, I did it, and then I was like, it's been 2 hours and I haven't made a sale. Was this the right decision?
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, there's lots of beautiful things with low ticket. I think a lot of us ping pong back and forth, and like when we're finally comfortable with it, I feel like a lot of us land on the low ticket thing. I don't know, just a sense from what I've been seeing. So just to fully understand the question, your paid group now is just low ticket exclusive.
It's just low ticket, yeah.
Okay. And then YouTube's kicking all these people to the free. Some of them stumble upon the paid.
No. YouTube's pushing everyone to paid. Like I changed all the links.
Oh, straight to paid. Okay.
Yeah, because I had what I thought was happening was because the free community was there. That's what got the initial group to get traffic, was the YouTube blowing up. Like, I can't stress this enough for anyone that like has YouTube go viral. Like, make sure your links in your descriptions like fucking point to what you want it to point to. It like, even if it's like whatever, it just make sure it's there, because my free community just blew up with heaps of traffic, and that's what put it on like the front page of the money category. So like from a timing like luck perspective, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm getting like, I had like 3,000 about page visitors when the YouTube was going nuts. And my paid group had like 200. It's always had 200, just I think from me with my profile on school. And I was like, okay, I'm going to change all the links to the paid one and see if I get 1,000 about page visitors to my paid community. But that didn't happen. And I was like, oh fuck, all this traffic is coming from school. So being on School Discovery, I'm getting like 1,000 about page visitors by being in the top 30 of the money category. And I know Kirby is getting like 2,000 about page visitors to his community. So there's just a lot of traffic going there. So the free community, I was like, I can remove it from my profile and I will just push, you know, my profile and YouTube traffic to the paid. So paid community is getting YouTube traffic at 600 about page visitors a week so far. And the free community is getting double that, but purely from school.
And what's the conversion rate on the paid?
Where am I at after, well, currently on today?
What's the niche for the free group?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with it? Because there really isn't like
what is it currently though? Like who's in there?
free. It's free, and there's 4.5 thousand people in there now. So I'm just kind of, I was like, I don't know. It's just I literally had it. Like the initial growth of it, just like go full time with school. That was like the only piece of copy. About page for the paid groups at 1.91% so far.
Okay.
So almost 2%.
But you got with that 2%, you got 8 people last week.
The last like 2 days.
Last 2 days. And
so it's really fresh data. It hasn't been like a week of like this transition yet to like really understand, but like I would say 400 about page visitors and then 8 sales would be like the proper like metric.
So how long have you had it at this new price point?
Like 2 days.
Oh, really? So like fresh. I wonder if Wingman has any of that data. Maybe we'll take a look at that and see if there's any change. I mean, there should be, because it was a pretty expensive ticket before that, right?
Yeah, it was $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna see a massively different one. Well,
yeah.
It might be too early to tell, because you'd probably want a certain degree of feedback as far as like data goes. And then once you see what those conversion rate numbers are, your anchor points are basically on average, your frees converted at what was that, 24%, your paids are 4%. Yeah.
The free one's at 45%.
No, yours is, right? I'm saying
Yeah.
But you would compare it against school average, which is 24.
Average is, well, the average was 18%. There was 18% for free and 4% for paid on an average. So I would say my average would be about 4%. But like
cool.
the conversion rate on the Ghost Ops, the paid stuff's fine. Our average, like with our clients, or one of them is like 6%. So we're not fine. That doesn't matter. I'm like, what do I just do with the overall community of free? Like, that's my question.
All right. Well, I've got 1 or 2 more questions for you first.
Yeah.
What time commitment do you think the paid is going to take?
Not that much, to be honest. I'm building it how everyone would probably recommend to build it, which is I put the offer on the about page and I sold it. And then I just put people into onboarding calls and said, what do you fucking want? Like, how do you want this to be delivered to you? So I think I've done like 7 hours of like one-on-one calls with everyone, but that's just so I can like record it, give it to Sophie. Sophie figures it out. I'm just like building the course as I go, because I'm like, I could tell them everything to do, but like, I'm even trying to outreach for creators. So I just showed how I would outreach to a creator, and I did it as a 20-minute Loom video, did the whole process. And then I just put that, I'm like, there you go. Like, that's how you do it. And so I'm just building it with everyone that joins. And the reason I put the onboarding call in was because you need to have the next step. And I was like, you can meet me. And everyone's been like, you're so authentic and it's genuine. I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, I've just spent 45 minutes with you. Like, I don't do this ever. But you're helping me make the best possible thing for when I go, no more one-on-ones, but you can still have the same experience. In terms of running it, like, it's only going to probably take like 2 hours a day, plus like obviously doing content, but community management side would be like 2 hours a day max.
So if you would increase your conversion rate slightly, but it would require more work, would you want to do that?
I mean, potentially, depending on what it is. Depends on the work.
So I think then probably what I would do, or what I would recommend, and I'd love to hear what other people's ideas are too, is if you were to just focus on this until you have enough data from it, so it can be your baseline anchor on this offer. I don't know if that's a week or if that's a month, but that'll give you a point of reference that's just cold hard numbers. Then you can do a different variation, similar to the whole cohorts thing, right? and then you try a different variation, which is now you've got the free up there. It's populated, and you do something in that. Like when I say something, let me be clear. Really, what you're trying to do is nurture people in any given free, and then ascend them into your paid, right? So likely you have some silly little competition or some passive thing that's happening. And one of the easiest ways that I've ever seen, and we did before too, was if you have a paid call or or a series of paid calls. How often do you have paid calls? Weekly, monthly?
It's weekly. I was thinking of increasing it to like a couple times a week.
Be careful about that one. Because it is possible that you do too much, which you have a habit of. You can over deliver, and then people are now thinking, well, I'm not getting the value out of it because I'm missing 50% a week. So careful about that. Try and stick with one thing. The 1 week thing is probably going to work great. My recommendation would potentially be when you're ready to start testing what the free looks like, so you can have 2 weeks to 2 months of data with one then the other combined, would be to have the free get a paid call in its community once in a while, once a month, twice a month, something like that.
Okay.
Get access to it. That way you're not signing yourself up for more work, but you're not necessarily losing potential viewers, which they wanted to come see you and they want to come get nurtured. And I think the paid guys would probably be willing to would see the clear value. Hey, I'm getting double that, and it's totally doable. On top of that too, one method which we also used and worked wonderfully, everyone here probably remembers Odysseys. Jonas is here for exactly that reason. Odysseys are where you feature your paid members and you run through, or at least that was what I called our version of it, but you would just feature your guys and then showcase them on those calls that would be in the free, or the recordings that would be delivered afterwards. So that way, you have basically two strategies. You can do the data test first, where you do one thing at a time, probably one thing per month, or you do this other version of not signing yourself up for any additional work within the free, but giving them little tastes of FOMO so that they're incentivized to give it a shot.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So do you think it would be fine if I just like changed the free community to suiting what the paid one was, so it collects the traffic around that specifically? Because that's the issue, is like people just fucking join it. Like there's no real like messaging or purpose or no clear structure to the free at all.
So because you're so much if someone's a beginner, I'd probably recommend something different. But since you have history on this, right, your paid is more clear to exactly what you're doing. So until the branding is identical, just maybe in a more free sense for the free, you're probably going to be getting a lower quality person in your free and a higher quality person in your paid, which means your paid community, even if it has fewer members, is going to be a higher quality, better retention system. So I would probably keep that there so that you're keeping that flywheel, the likelihood of flywheel maintaining. So you're free until the point that your free is branded to match your paid. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Because as long as it's amalgamous, you're going to be appealing to too many different people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is going to be a little bit dangerous. But I still think it's useful. So, the moment when, and this is probably just going to come, it's the same thing for me and probably most of the people that we run into at these events, because this shit happens all the time. And pivoted, high ticket, low ticket, what about this, that, and the other thing? It's always really, really helpful to when you yourself feel like, yes, this is definitely the offer that I want to commit to for the next 6 months, right? And I don't know if you soak that in yet, or you've been like, yeah, this is definitely it.
Yeah. I'm going for it. Yeah, I'm like 100% committed to it. Yeah.
Perfect. Then I would just make a light version of that for the free, and let
Yeah.
it stand alone. Keep tracking everything to where you are now. So YouTube and stuff just goes to paid, and your
Yeah.
free just has like a post or a module that's basically saying like, hey, this is the area that we're going to be focusing on as the branding is transitioning, so that you can pivot everyone, and the people that stay ideally are your ICP for the paid one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice.
All right. Does
Sweet.
someone have to contribute? Someone raise their hand.
So basically, you're saying for Ryan, like, take the free group that he has, change the messaging to match the ghost operators, but don't really try to like do a whole bunch of extra work in there. Just give them a sneak peek of what's going on in the paid, and then focus all the traffic into the paid.
Correct. Yeah. Until you're done collecting the data. This is what I would do personally. Yeah. And then, so you'll want to write down like the date that you started this transition, because it's been what, 2 days now. So write down that date, because at the very least in 30 days, both on school and in Wingman, you'll be able to start tracking that cohort. And so every month you'll be able to judge how everyone did there from like a bird's eye view, not to mention the more nuanced data of like, what was the conversion rate this month versus the next month. So that way you will know definitively within 2 months which avenue you want to go. Do you want to keep them going to paid, or is it kind of a low conversion and maybe you put them in free first to nurture them? But at least that way you don't lose on anything by continuing to keep the free and just not sign yourself up for any work. So it's kind of like taking the best of both worlds.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So good clarification, D. That's exactly right.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you so much.
You got it, baby.
It's always hard to look at your own shit when the toilet seat is closed.
Dude, it's fucking impossible. Yeah. Yeah, that's the crazy part too, is I honestly, I've talked about this a ton. I think it's baked into like our DNA. None of us are good at the thing when it comes to us ourselves. All right. We're always good at looking outward. So maybe that's one of the fundamental reasons why community is such a big thing, is like it's to everyone's benefit to be hanging out in small groups, because everyone's shit gets better when you're in circles.
Yeah, like we can all play piano better than Robbie, or at least tell him how.
That's right. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Cool. Yeah, and I'll have I know I missed your last call. I'll be free probably tomorrow after we land in Berlin, so I can shoot you a message too, and we can figure out something.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, sounds good. I did put an appointment like just DM closer in the free as well, just to kind of have at it as well, pull anyone from there and get the word out a bit further, which is nice.
Yeah. That's
so
you're basically, so keep doing exactly that, because it fits in line with what I would do.
Yeah. It's so nice to like finally just create content and then like make a sale, like while you're watching like a YouTube show. It's like,
which you can pretty much only do with low ticket. High ticket, like the big push for the first year of school is like this whole sales system, which is great, but what if you didn't have to do that? And you just focus on delivery.
I was watching like a video on like Mad Honey, and like, because Sophie's like admins in like all of like the communities that we like manage as well. And so when like someone makes a sale, like my iPad goes off, my laptop goes off, my phone goes off, and then so does Sophie. So like the whole house just like rings, and then we always check it, and like, because our price, like we're the only community that's like at $49. We're like, yes, like you can like see it. But then like the 99% of everything else is like a $17 payment or a $200 payment. It's just like
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I actually turned off my ka-chings because it was just driving me bonkers. It was way too insane. And anyone else, any other laptop, like I would have the profile open on his laptop, all my shit. There's like the upstairs and the downstairs going ka-ching, and people outside are like, what the fuck are they doing in there? Yeah, that's too hard of a party. Cool, man. Yeah, keep me posted on that one, and yeah, we'll connect tomorrow to dig
Sweet.
into that more. D, you got more to add or an extra thought?
Yeah, I have a question actually.
All right. And then really quick, as soon as you're done with that one, we'll switch over to Jonas. Jonas has a couple as well.
Okay. So my question is kind of simple. So I'm just curious on your guys' thoughts on what would be like the main thing you would focus on to grow a mastermind. And I'll give you guys a little context. So basically we have our free community, which is for entrepreneurs. It's just a place where people can connect and build relationships, because I noticed a lot of entrepreneurs are doing it on their own. So it's really about just like connections. The thing that I realized people wanted as like a next step is like this, like deep diving with each other, a space where you can ask questions and get help, get feedback. So what we're doing right now is saying for the people that want to join, it's super laid back. It's like, hey, you tell us what you feel like that would be worth to you monthly or yearly. And then if they're a person that we want in there, then everyone is kind of paying what they want. So then that can kind of validate the offer. So my question would be like, what would be the main thing you would focus on a day-to-day, weekly basis to get more people in there without having the free group feeling like it's just pitching and selling?
So are you looking for a topic?
Say that one more time.
Are you looking for a topic, or are you looking for a format?
We have the format. I think it's just like to get more to what would you suggest? What would you personally focus on to like get more people into the mastermind?
Like as far as topics go, like what's the point of discussion?
Different things. So basically, like people come in, they would say, "Hey, this is the thing that I want to achieve within the next year."
Sorry. My fault. I missed that. Are you asking like what is the topic that we would choose that would attract the most people?
No,
Clarify.
what would be like the actual actions that you would take to get more people into the mastermind from a free community?
Gotcha. Okay. So you have a free and you're trying to get them into a paid.
Correct. Yeah, mastermind. Yeah.
And how many do you have in the paid?
Right now one. It was something we just launched.
Okay. And what's the ticket price?
So basically, they can pay what they want.
Okay. If I were you, I would get rid of your paid community and make your free one premium until you have a flywheel of 500 activities daily. How many activities do you have in your free?
Around like 300, 400.
Okay, cool. So you're getting there. How many people?
Like 170-ish.
Oh, great. Okay. In that case, yeah, I would probably still keep them in the free. Because you could open a second community, but at the same time, especially for info like a mastermind, I mean, the amount of FOMO you could give to your guys with such little effort in a system like that would be really clean. And then at some point, you can't expand to another community, but there's always the risk, like it could be perfectly fine at this rate, but there's always the risk that you could be nerfing your engagement a little bit too quickly.
But what do
The
you
mastermind should just do the mastermind on calls and just sell it as like a course, and you can pay what you want, or if you're selling them through it, but just like course linked to your calendar, and just do the mastermind on there, and then just have everyone post in the community how great the call was, then you should have been there. And like, because as soon as you move people over to the paid group, like Goose is saying, you're going to lose all of this engagement like that you have there. And so like that's not going to, like, there's no point in doing that. And like I was thinking about it today, like real community forms the most on calls because you can add so much context to it. Like I don't think like your conversation and questions will just, like, they don't need to put that in a post. They can wait a week till the next call for the mastermind, or a month, whenever you have it. Nothing like valuable really would happen between those high level conversations because they usually have to go away and do the work. And so like Goose said, you scrap that paid community and just sell the mastermind as a group of calls that they can go to. And then you have no extra operational complexity at all.
That's
Let's say I like that. Let's say somebody's like, "Hey, I would love to join this. This would be worth, let's say, $300 a month for me." How would you go about doing that logistically when, of course, you can only do like a one-time payment? That's the reason. That's one of the reasons why I started a separate community, because you can take it.
So Sam will change this soon so that you'll have tiers within communities. But until then, technically the way that you would do it is likely you're going to sell them on a call, right? Like you'll be on
Yeah,
something.
of course.
And go,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. So when you're on that call and they go, yes, I'm ready to buy right now, you go into the pricing settings or in the member and you boot them, right? Then you go into your pricing, change the price to whatever it is for a monthly, and you send them that link while they're there with you on the call. They sign up on the call. They're back in. They got back all their points and stuff that they originally had before you booted them, and then you reset the price to free. So there's some friction on your side, but the upsides to it are much greater.
Okay, so basically, you guys are saying that it would be better for the community and engagement to just have everything in one place.
Correct.
And the objection, the two, I guess, objections that I had, one was like the pricing, which you said you can overcome by doing this. And the other objection that I had, which I've heard other people say, is that what if you have specific things you want to talk about as a mastermind member? Let's say if you do an in-person event or something like that, is that necessary? But that's one thing I've heard people say, is there certain things that you would only want to talk about with those members that then you wouldn't have a place to do that. And I guess for people that are doing it, we're not doing it course based, but if you had a course or something, then they're just, I guess, sharing everything freely. Does that matter?
Just do it on the calls, and then you'll just find that like it's the same here. Like everyone's on this call. The mastermind usually is led by the creator, and so like Goose would chime in 80% more than like what someone else is who's just like getting started or listening. And so like them asking that question to 184 people doesn't even make any fucking sense in the first place. They usually just want to ask the question to you, so you just have it that they have access to your DMs, and like you don't need a group chat, you don't need to have you know, the other person. Sure, they can add value, you can do it, but they're just looking for at your mastermind at the end of the day. And like they can ask the group a question. I can be like, yo, Quincy, what do you think about this whole situation? Like you said some cool shit on the last week's call. Would love to get your thoughts on it. But between this week's call and next week's call, I would just DM you, D, because you're there, and you'd be like, yo, I don't know the answer to that. Send a message to this guy. Because then you're just facilitating the conversation, but you don't need a whole community about it, because you'll find that people that join a mastermind don't have the fucking time to do, you know, heavy engagement all the time anyway.
Yeah. Okay. And then my other question would be, the free community that we have is more about like connections, right? Like networking. But the mastermind is more structured, and like the first thing that we're having people do, or the person we're working with so far, is like, what is the specific thing that you're trying to achieve, right? And then the mastermind is like, we're all coming together to help you achieve that thing, the different questions you have. In the free community, we're not asking people that because they're not at that level, right? They're just coming in there to connect. They haven't really committed to like, hey, I'm trying to achieve this thing. How, if it's in one community, how is there a way to like merge those two to where you're still getting that information from them, but not overloading the other people that aren't ready to take that step yet? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll give you a good example. This is one that I actually learned directly from Sam last year when we were just in the office. And one of the big ones is like, we'll speak on terms of software. The best goal that you would ever have with software is to have a bunch of features that people use, right? However, if you don't have a philosophy behind it that you stick to, inevitably you'll suffer from software bloat, which is where Monday and Asana and Trello all went, where it used to do this thing really well, but now I can do so many variations of that thing that I'm lost, right? So if you take that more to like the in real life or the mastermind direction, that means that you can still give all the same features. You just make sure that each one is very specifically tailored and delivered. So why I say that is because you might want to restructure your thought process around your free and your paid members. Your free members should ideally also be receiving essentially a mastermind that is kind of the same function of the mastermind, right? So they're similar. The difference is in how present you are, or
Okay, I get it.
is. It's not that there are. You want to make sure that you're not necessarily gatekeeping something. You're just giving a better version of it as you go up. And usually people want proximity or more attention.
So the question that I ask in there for the mastermind is like, what is your dream, right? And then they say it, and then every week we know what they're working toward, right? So if someone's like, hey, my goal is to get to $10,000 per month on school or in their business, we know this is the direction that, and we know the why too. I want to retire my wife or whatever, right? So it's like, you know what they're working towards, and that's where the accountability and the help comes from. So what you're saying is in the free group, that question should still be present, but the delivery is like, in the free group, you're just getting the support of the community in a whole. But in the mastermind, you're actually getting the support to reach that goal at a deeper level. So it's just the different thing. The support. Okay.
So one of the fundamentals, which you'll want to hold on to, is the do-it-yourself, done with you, done for you. They're all the same thing, but they happen at different speeds. That's essentially what you're doing.
What about in terms of like Jen, Mindy, Robbie, Sarah, Vincent, Quincy, Jonas? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on like if you were to join a mastermind, but you're already in a free community, would you be upset that there's not like, yo, I just paid, why am I not getting put in another community? Or would you be like, oh, okay, this makes sense, I'm already where I'm engaged, but I get access to different things? What is like your guys' feedback as like a user?
I'm fucking furious.
I actually run my program like that. So I have a high ticket program that's a few thousand for the year, and I don't have a special community for them. They're welcome in my $9 community, and they're fully engaged in there, but they get special training and one-on-one Zooms with me and I have not built a special community for them. They want to be in the community that's most engaged, and there are people that are higher level. I teach Shopify, so they're higher level than a lot of the people in the community, and they learn from helping others also. So they like being in my $9 community, and I've asked them a few times if they want me to just make a special one, but there's so much fewer of them. They said, no, it'll be too quiet in there. We want to be in the one with.
Oh, that makes sense. How do you give them access to more of the stuff? Are you doing what Goose said, where it's like buy a course and then you unlock it, or like what does that look like logistically?
Sorry, I missed the first part of the question.
So the members that you're giving exclusive access to things, how do they get access to it? Like Goose said, create a course, they buy it, right? Then you can say unlock if you're a member of XYZ course, like for the calls. Like how are you doing that logistically? If that makes sense?
I mean, I'm kind of a software hoarder, so my stuff is all pieced everywhere because I want to be in every single software that exists. So I'm not a good example.
Okay.
But my high level stuff is all just put on Notions because I knew school was coming out last year, like when it was coming out, and I didn't know if I wanted to put my high level stuff on. It's already been running for quite some time. And so I tossed it on Notions with the intentions to move it to school. But now my community is saying, we don't want it. We want our stuff to like not be in the school group. So I'm not sure where I'm putting it yet. I do have courses in my $9 that they can unlock, but they're not courses that are accessible by the people that pay the higher level, if that makes sense. They get exclusivity. So they have to pay the year fee, and they come in and I just give them some Notions access. Sounds really lame, but it's just temporary right now.
I like that though. Thank you. That helped. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
So D, the ones that are like paying you, what's like the special access that they get again?
So the main thing is calls, basically like this, right? It's like a mastermind call. In the group, it's purely like I asked people what's the number one like valuable thing, and they said like connection. I'm building a business by myself. I don't have other people to connect with. In other communities that I go into, they're not as like engaged and like supportive. So that's like the main thing. This is more like transformation, like getting knowledge, getting advice, basically like what we do on this call once a week. And then the plan would be 2 to 3 like in-person events a year.
Yeah, no, that's interesting because it's like the like I was like listening a lot to what you were like talking about that as well, because I really wanted to know what other people were going to say. But like one of the things that I tried my team and I were kind of like, oh, we thought of this cool idea, especially for us in music. That is, it's like for people to kind of see a lot of value in something. I guess they kind of have to really go ahead and like implement it, right? So like we have two communities, like one is the free and the other one is the paid. And then as of next month, what we're trying to do is we're trying to like have just everyone on these calls, because then everyone can see like the value that we kind of provide. And so like same like with what you're doing, but then the actual implementation and the action of it is kind of like on a different level. And because like ours is like to help people with just like content within music, and so the calls and stuff like that, even like for us is very good to connect with each other. But when it comes to actually the taking action and the implementation, that one is it like requires a lot more I guess like heavy lifting, and that's generally where I see people get stuck a lot, because there's a lot of information overload, right? Like they get just paralysis in like, oh, there's so many things to do, and it's like they kind of need someone to just nurture them, like a PT type thing. It's like, then I kind of see it as like, this is like the gym. Everyone's allowed to go to the gym, but you have people that are paying more because they're getting PT, and you get special services from doing that. But it doesn't mean that it's going to stunt anyone's growth. It's just those people might require it, your help, I guess, more, right? And that's how I kind of thought it as well. So like, I think it depends on just the personality. There's going to be people that are like really open-minded to take in people's help and would rather get from A to B in a shorter time frame. And some just have that like, no, I'd rather do it myself and just be half in it. And then I think like, yeah, just these kind of calls will be good to mix a bunch, to get those people, the ones that are like not open-minded yet, to be, oh, you know what, maybe it is a good idea for me to get some further help, and get like, you know, maybe it's maybe I don't know everything, and D is going to be the answer to it. Because I know like it took a little bit, you know, for me to even like, you know, pay someone to help become a growth operator for mine. And like, I've never ever done anything where like be buying a you know, mid ticket and a high ticket. And then I was like, holy shit, like we ended up doing that. But I would never have done it until I got exposed to this kind of thing.
That's super helpful. I think what Jonas had, we can jump to Jonas if you guys want. That was super helpful for all of you guys. I'm going to test that.
Awesome. Yeah, let's touch base later, at the latest next week. I'd like to see what your progress is from that, and we can dial it in a little bit.
Cool. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, J-Man. Hey, you know, I think we'll stay on the call a little bit. Of course, everyone can go to the school news thing. Don't let us stop you, but I've got a little bit of extra time afterwards. So, Jonas, you've got the floor, man. Let's go through it.
I mean, we can also just do it next week or sometime.
Well, I think, are you doing the school news? Will you be watching it?
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's put later, dude. See you, everybody. And anyone who wants to. Lovely seeing you. We'll probably have an extra call this week. I'm going to stay on here with Jonas. You guys are all welcome to stay if you'd like to. And Jonas, I think we'll just set up also on top of this a call that's just like bringing back the Odyssey for a couple of deep dives this week. Maybe we'll give out that to a winner for something as an extra credit point or something.
I learned a lot from listening to all of you guys right now. I really enjoyed that. And maybe we can also like celebrate what happened since we started. And I don't know if I want to share my screen, but we had like this Excel sheet where like we had like all of that half-baked things going on with like multiple directions.
Yeah.
We're kind of at a point. I don't know if I can share the screen. Let me try.
Yeah, you should have permission on there. I'd love to see it.
Direction that is, yeah, kind of
amazing.
It's nice. And let me give you that before and after.
Okay.
It's like so much going on. Like we had like multiple whatever things, and
and now Yes. Okay. So you're talking about the structure of your business.
Yeah, I think like I really try to access my business through the visual thing because I'm a visual person, and then always I try to.
Before
make
you
that
click out,
fun.
can you show us version 1 really quick? I think everyone would really, really love to see this. So this is when you first came together, right? When we first started talking?
Exactly, like you hit me up on that post banana thing and get a free Odyssey thing, and then I was like, yeah, fuck that banana. So
That's
what
right.
the hell is going on here?
Yeah. So just for clarification, so everyone understands what's going on here, this was the layout of his business. All of these were different things he was in charge of, whether it be offer, website, landing page, whatever. This was what it looked like before.
Yeah, and it was like basically a lot of needs, like a lot of fantasies, a lot of like I have been doing things that I got paid for already, but just like the clarity of what I'm doing kind of became over that time, every call we had like bit less, bit less, bit
Mhm.
less. And now I'm like, I mean, also like, yeah, together with you and Diana, we kind of figured out like a value ladder that is now taking more and more shape
Beautiful.
and starts to make a lot of sense. And now I'm in the process of kind of thinking of slowly shifting the film production where I work for clients into more of a case study for the teaching.
Yep, exactly. Very similar to what we were doing with Odysseys.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, well, generally, so that's what we were speaking about before. Your best lever is if you're offering a high ticket and a lower ticket or something like this, would be to, you're done for you clients that you do film production for, you gather, record, film as much of that as possible and give that to the people who are learning to do what you do. And it's the greatest way you can possibly tie your service in with education, which is the first 2 steps of the wealth ladder.
Yep. Also, I watched the school news last week, and like this decision making through that spinning wheel is genius.
Yeah,
I love that. I think I'll keep that.
yeah, you should. You might be surprised and concerned how many times that wheel has made major decisions.
It's like the flipping the coin, no? Kind of like it's just okay. Let's do that.
You let the universe decide for you.
Yeah, I really like. I took that, and I mean, what we could do now, because like I think it could be, yeah, makes sense to try to solve some things. Like maybe we do. Like right now, I did not have like a full focus on the Odyssey thing, but what we might be able to do is to set up like a sales script, go through the marketing strategy and the retention blueprint where I don't really know what it is. It's kind of to keep students inside.
That's right. Yeah. Because each community will have their own version of it. We don't draft one and put it in there. It's just an example of what kind of document you could make.
Yeah, but okay. Marketing wise, right now, like I run an Instagram ad on extra channel kind of, which works.
Okay.
I have this one, and then I run it here. It's like, and then people post popcorn.
Nice.
And then they do that, and I chat them up.
Beautiful. Nicely done. And how many leads do you usually get from this direction?
Yeah, like I would probably get more leads. I'm not having a lot of money to invest for the ads. So it's actually, it's very low. Like I think it's 2 or 3 euros a day. So I skip my coffee kind of, and then I do that.
Great. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I tested 2 things. One is the learn filmmaking and join the free community, which performs way better. And I also have one which is a bit different. It's like get the clients and make the money thing, which does not have like a lot of likes, but from time to time it hits somebody who actually wants to go like full time or something. but it
Yeah.
just doesn't really perform well on like a like metric thing. So
Makes-
right now I think of having like maybe just this one and grow the free community.
Yeah, if you find one that performs well, there's nothing wrong with just leaning
Yeah.
into it completely.
And ideally in the future, I would like to go away from Meta because it's just, not that it's burned money, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. How many people do you have in your free now?
250,
Awesome.
274. Yeah, and I run like a weekly hangout, and then I have a inner circle call after that,
Awesome.
kind of. And
Beautiful. And how many, what's your current MRR through the platform?
so yesterday I booked in one old student like that I had for 350 euro monthly 2-hour session that we're having.
Beautiful. Congratulations, man. That's
Something.
really, really good news. You're finally starting to see the reward for all the effort you've been putting in.
Yeah, and that's why I also think like just I'm in this valley of death between like not getting real money from the done for you because I just stopped to have attention on making the sales or something. And now I would like to transition, and maybe it's just I need to
Yeah.
What, if you don't mind me asking, it's like who's your what's your target market, like as in like your ICP, as in because I know that I see that it's like filmmaking and stuff like that. Is it tailored towards people that want to do film and any type of creators, or like is there a specific type of filmmaker?
Yeah, so like the community is kind of made to make your first film. So that could be like on a very basic level, a documentary film, but also a YouTube film or any moving image. But I really like to just work with like passionate creators that love what they do, but that's not a real audience, but that can spread through a lot of different disciplines, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just like because I guess like in film, like this is I guess again from coming from another I guess creator, but I mean in the sound stuff, like something that I would love to I guess see a lot more, right? When I see those like organic content, especially around just like the stuff that you're I guess like you're teaching them, I guess like it's like what you got written in the Excel spreadsheet, but I guess going in a little bit more in depth into those will be something pretty cool, because I guess you have the power to showcase a lot more visual things of like what you can do, and because everyone just consumes content like so much, it kind of like there's probably a way that you could showcase in organic content, whether it be doing some stuff of you talking in front of the camera or showing pieces of work that you've done that could generate some really cool people that would love to kind of work with you and get to know the process like behind it. I guess like telling a story type thing.
You mean Instagram Reels or something?
Yeah, just stuff like that. I'm a very big advocate of organic content. I mean, like I love just making content in general, right? I'm not a filmmaker and stuff myself, but when I was like looking through what you're showing me, I was like pretty amazed at some of the things and even stuff that's in your classroom. And I reckon like a lot of the things that you should put in the messaging is like, you don't, for example, it's like, you have no idea how much lighting can absolutely change your production value, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a messaging right there. That's going to instantly have people going, holy shit, I never really thought about lighting. Or like, people can constantly spend money on cameras thinking that it's going to be the answer to all their problems. But actually, with this shitty camera and a couple of really good placed lights, I can turn this into this. Bam, credibility. And you show that viral video, many chats. Comment this, and I'll show you how it's done. Lead magnet straight into the free community, and I think that would be insane. I would join that shit. You know what I mean? Because I want to see like, oh, okay, I want to know what this guy's diagram was like. Where is he going to put the lights? If I have a really shitty camera, how is it actually going to look? Because people can see the messaging, but they can't really experience it unless you communicate that in a way where, like, if you have a mobile phone or a shitty camera yourself, you can be like, I'm gonna show you how you can turn this shitty film set into a really good one with just this and this. And you're providing credibility without them really knowing who you are, at the same time showing like what you can do to other people because you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah, that's great feedback. Yeah. Like I once made an experiment with like upcycling the live calls into short form. Like, I don't know, like this, which is kind of practical. Like that right now the most practical thing probably to do, because like setting up like my own content, I don't think I have time right now, but like I would do that after. Like,
yeah, no, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be super.
Because I guess in filming, right, it requires a lot more. Like just like even in the reel over there, it's like it probably is informative, but it's also again hard to people to gauge because it's like still on the computer, right? Whereas filming and like things that are like very visual requires like the actual emotions of the things around you behind the lens. So like you're teaching, if you're showcasing, this is how I can help with their filming behind the lens. It's I guess it's more about show, like, you know, if you show it like yourself, and I guess like a lot more of just putting like a face to the camera thing kind of also helps build that trust as well. That I find, and then you can, I guess, explore a lot of things with just your camera, rather instead of just showing it on the screen. But that's just, you know, my personal feedback.
100%. Yeah. 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 Tomorrow I have like a small video gig, and then I thought of having that captured somehow.
Yeah, see, that'd be sick, bro.
That's great. That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, and then I guess like because like most people see the end result of the video, right? Like that it looks really good, but they don't really see like how hard it is to make a specific scene, right? Like, oh, like when you see the directors, this 8-second scene took us a whole day's traveling from here to here to grab this piece of light, to then grab this, you know, like they need to know that. And that's what makes it, holy shit, this is real. I'm learning from a dude that's in it, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's everyone's favorite thing is to follow along with your done for you. I mean, clearly you're the expert at this thing. If they can peer over your shoulder, like, oh, I get it. I've tried it and I had that issue too.
Yeah, like documenting more, and then
and don't overthink it. To Quincy's point, it's, if you can have it just like raw and standing there, even if it's like a 45-minute recording of you just fucking around, as long as someone can see what you're doing, and you don't have to be narrating or anything, it's just that, like, hey, edit with me for 45 minutes. You'd be surprised how many people are into that.
Yeah, that thing's dope. Like that's something that I would watch. Like, you know what I mean? Just because I want to see what's in your workflow. Like, you know, like do you use shortcuts and just things like that. It's always the little nuances that makes people like get hell like into it. And because of all the things that you're doing is very visual. I mean, this is again like another idea that it's like one of these Ray-Ban Metas. It's like a very cool POV glasses. You just put it on, and you could go about doing whatever you're doing in the editing process, in the setting up process. And it's an easier way where you just have to click record. You don't even have to explain. You can explain while you're talking. They don't have to look at you, but at least it's like they're there with you.
Yeah, or later with a voiceover, just put that over.
Yeah, Exactly.
Yeah, that would be very doable. I need
Mhm.
glasses. So,
Yeah, it's sick.
or just the phone. Yeah, I think
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
maybe like that will also just solve itself out during continuing to do that. But like I think the ideal client is still something that could be better defined. Just
Yeah, because I think it honestly will come to you. Like I think you'll be surprised at like the people that it will attract. Once you kind of start showing like the things behind the journey. It's always like as us as creatives, it's always the things that we think people don't give a shit about are the things people like would rather see.
Yeah.
It's like I could be here sitting in a fancy studio, but people would rather watch me make music while I'm chucking a dump. It's weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Right, man.
yeah. I mean, that question with the ideal client basically comes down, I think, to the split between working with people that are passionate about what they do and want just to create like awesome films, or like working with people that want to like make a business out of that. I think that's the split defined. I mean, but I think that's gonna show itself. Like,
Yeah.
I really love to work with the more filmmakers that want to create films, obviously, but I figured out that the I can help you get more clients thing kind of is maybe, yeah, easier.
When you say like filmmakers that want to make more films, does it also count people that are like editors, just like video editors that just want to?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then that's awesome because then you could do there are like I've seen a lot of cool successful people that make template packs, right? Like all these really cool fonts, like for Premiere Pro and Final Cut,
Yeah.
and those are like a quick way of or like LUTs, right? And people will just just send them straight to your free community as a lead magnet, and you will see like you get them to put their Instagram, and if they're actually a creative or a videographer or a photographer and you get the Instagram, guaranteed you'll be able to see how good they are and what type of content they do.
Yeah.
Then if you're on the back end, you can literally go and put and be like, yeah, this guy is more corporate because all the stuff that he's doing is a little bit more that. This guy is definitely an editor for creators because he does a lot more vlog stuff.
Exactly, maybe.
I guess like you'd have like a good opportunity to cast out a big net, like you can put some templates that can get this type of people. You can put these ones that are maybe people that are like starting out in the editing world. LUT packs, stuff like that. I think would be pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, for some time, I also thought maybe I just focus on the editing because it's like specific. But I mean, I do everything. I like to shoot, I like to edit, I like to craft the stories, and then with like equipment that's available. So maybe it's also isolating than what I love to do if I just do editing because it's remote.
Remember that your offer isn't you. So your offer is the only thing that has to be one thing. And usually something more like making money, doing what you love, that's what you want to be discussing. And then when they're in, you do all of the things you want to. So it's not like your offer is editing, so you show editing and nothing else. Or your offer is how to be a DP, and then you only do things related to directing photography. You literally do all of the things that you are because they have to do them too. And your offer is just one thing.
Maybe like I've been pretty like confident with the offer we have right now.
Yeah,
but we can like go over it once again. So I have like make your first film based on your interest and land paying clients without fancy gear.
I think get rid of make your first film like you've automatically gotten rid of everyone who's already attempted a film. I would say land paying clients. I would say make it even clearer. Make if I were to like really simplify this, if I was running it, it would be make money making movies without fancy gear. Done. There you go. That's a good offer.
Robbie, how does that speak to you? That one. Like,
I mean, I like that. How would you phrase it in your own words? Or
I would phrase it like learn cinematic filmmaking and like turn passion to profit or something. But maybe that's too long.
No, that's what you do. That's not what you offer. You're making it too much about you. So you want to be careful that what you do is not your offer. What you offer is not you. Health, wealth, relationships. If it's not about health, wealth, and relationships, then it's an offer that doesn't fulfill your goals or the goals of your clients. Even people that want to make movies they're passionate about will still want to get paid at some point. And so they get involved because of that. They're going to pay because of that. But they better hope, right? They come in and they're going to be hoping, well, I hope he can teach me to do something where I'm having fun too, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Luckily, you have a free community, so they can get a taste of exactly that. You don't advertise, hey, let's make movies and have fun. No one buys that. No one signs up for that. You advertise making money with making movies, and then you deliver them all the stuff that you are.
How should we settle for make unique films and then paying clients without fancy gear?
Does anyone else have feedback?
Is this like when you said unique films, is it kind of like a long form feel? Like, is it like a proper cinematic thing? Because for me personally, if it's kind of like just like videos, I wouldn't use the word films, and I would rather use the word like create content and land clients with the gear that you have, you know, like it's or like no gear required or something like that. But yeah, I guess like when you say make films, it's obviously a little bit more like fancy, you know, like instead of like, oh, you're producing music, it's just like composing music. It's kind of completely different in the messaging.
Whatever. Let's test it. It's good.
You just have to remember, and it's like it's so important to the whole process, and it's so hard for us creatives to do, to detach ourselves from the offer.
I would like not have 2 times the make in it. You have make. What did you have now? Make movies. Make. Can you not like have create there or something? Make money creating movies or something, or you have 2 times make, and it's.
It depends on your copy strategy for that one. You put in redundancies when you're trying to call attention because it's not regular expression. So be careful because some of what you do is short films, but not everything, right?
Like,
because it's fine if you advertise that. Again, that's one of the things where you could bring in just creators that want to do short films, and then inevitably you show them all the other stuff too. So that part is subjective, and that's up to you. The thing that will get attention is, at least in my experience, is when you play on what's that word? When you have multiple words with the same letter, or starts with an A.
Alliteration.
Alliteration. Thank you, man. You got me, Michelle. So Yeah, so you can do alliteration, you can do repetition, you have to do something that changes the way that they look at it, because that's your hook, that's your thumbnail. So it has to be somehow unique and unusual, and has to not do as much with you. Just it has to do with your client. How does that feel?
I mean, it worked so far to onboard them. I don't think it will stop working. Like if we let's stick with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your opportunity is on the first call, as you say, I'm glad you're here, because that's not the beginning and end of everything that you're doing. If you really want to be making money while you're making movies, or whatever that your catchphrase is, if you actually want to do that, you're going to have to make sure that you love it. So we help make sure that you love it. And so now you're teaching the method of that thing. You don't advertise the method.
Yeah, and then kind of work with that as like a mindset thing to work from the passion out.
Imagine in 10 years you become a monk, and yet you still know all of this stuff about it, and you're sitting up on this big mountain teaching people that come by about like how to make the most beautiful movies of any kind. When people ask you what you do, it's going to be a very short line.
Mm-hmm.
And when people try and understand further, you'll give them more details. But if you give them a whole paragraph at the very beginning, you're probably not that monk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you start embodying that part, let's assume that that's there, it's totally comfortable, it's easily digestible, and you're like, okay, it doesn't feel the best for you, but it's probably speaking to the audience. Now, everything from this point on, you just do you, and nothing changes. And that's a great avenue, like I was saying before, for you to be like, hey, now that you're here, if you really want to make money making movies, we're going to teach you how to love it. We're going to teach you how to make it simple. We're going to teach you how to do it without major expenses, all that stuff that you already know how to do.
Jen, that is nice. What do you think, Goose, about the make money making movies with the gear you have, you already own?
There you go. Now, these are the kind of rephrasings that you'll want to consider.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very good question. I like it. I think that.
Yeah, and it's under. Boom. Okay, it's a bit long.
Well, I don't think she meant the whole thing. I think she was explaining the second part to you. Yeah. Yeah. Remember, the that second part that you just deleted, that is the method. You never, ever want to explain the method in the offer.
Beautiful. Yeah. That sounds nice.
Wonderful. Yeah, that should really help clean it up too, because now that you've got things so simplified, when you have a very simple, clean offer like that, it can allow you to get to the next step, because these are the kind of things you'll need to be dialed in on. Like imagine a business person that's making 10K a month. Well, they probably have a very simple, clean, easy to understand offer, onboarding system, and method of fulfillment. And you already have the method of fulfillment. You've been developing the onboarding system. Now you've got another refined offer, even cleaner than the one you had previously. I mean, to me, it looks like you're basically like now it's just a matter of time before you reach your next goal.
Yeah, I think like the next goal would kind of be first to go to 1K and then to 2K, and then like I think with 5K I would be kind of be actually, and then it can grow or not, but like I can, yeah.
Amazing.
I'm simple on that, so
yeah. Easy. Well, that's what you say now. Watch when you get to 5K, you'll be like, well, maybe 10.
Yeah, for sure. But I think for now it would be like helping me to transition from the done for you to something.
Yeah. Okay. So how does that feel? Does that feel like a little bit cleaner, or like there's a little bit of weight off your shoulders for this bottleneck that you're having?
Let me think. I mean, that sounds like a super nice offer. I would do that.
Mm.
And like maybe a question, what would be your suggested next steps, what to focus on?
Mm.
And that
I would love to ask everyone here what they think. Robbie, Michelle, Jen, Quincy, Mindy, what do you guys think? What would you recommend Jonas do next?
spin the wheel.
That's right. So what goes on the wheel?
I think like well, for me personally, I'd want to see like, okay, because now you're like make money making movies with the gear you already own, and then it's kind of like affirming to the people. So I've got, this is what I have, this is what to make movies, blah blah blah. Because I'm just thinking as a way of like, okay, if I was in that position, I'm like, you know what, yeah, I want to make some money making movies with the gear already owned. Oh, I wonder what gear he has. And then kind of in the start here thing, when they come into the community, to be like, it's kind of like, oh, welcome guys, these are for like, you guys probably have one of these, you know, it's iPhone and blah blah blah. And I guess like showing, like, I'm going to show you guys how to make movies using these equipments that you have around your house, such as this. I think that'll be like, it'll make it fun as well, because then you could kind of do some fun videos with it.
I think makes a lot of sense. It's kind of the same logic behind stick with the thumbnail and start with the opener of the film or of the YouTube video. So just go straight where you started with the offer to catch them and then build the content. I do have archive material from the last whatever, some behind the scenes that I could also access instead of shooting new stuff, but
either that or like a really, really good one, but it would probably be a little bit hard and a lot of work, would be to create an actual short film yourself with very limited equipment. And then you show that straight away as that first video, and people were like, oh shit, this is sick.
You know,
you're like, yeah, this is actually made.
Great idea. What if you did that with your VSL?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, VSL.
So in the VSL have like could you elaborate?
Yeah. Today I have a what was that? Motorola Razr, and we're gonna make a short, and I'm telling you how to make films on whatever. Welcome to my community today. Yeah, it'd probably be something like that. Welcome to my community. Today I'm shooting, everything that I have is shot right here on my Motorola.
Yeah. It's like, welcome to the community. If you're watching this, you probably have one of these, which is Apple, or one of these, an Android. And if you've been to Kmart, you've probably seen some of these that cost $10, blah, blah, blah. And then you make a little short film for like with those equipment.
Or shoot a film on a camera obscura potato or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question, just something that's come up when you guys were talking, and you may have said this because I was doing some of my community stuff, so I may have missed it. So forgive me if I'm way off track. But when people are coming in and trying to learn to make movies, is it just the gear that's the only obstacle? Like, oh, I can't make movies, I just don't have the right gear. If they're going to make money from it, is there like an element of planning what their movie is, or is that something that somebody else does? Like, is there like, you know, like, is there a way that you can teach them how to storyboard something, or how to be like, I mean, there's something that you can record stuff all day long, but no one's going to pay money for it if it's crap and it's boring, right? If you're just doing like a shot of a bug moving for an hour, no one's going to watch it. Well, maybe some people will, but most people won't. You know, there's a niche for everything. But like, is there some intro that you can help people to start figuring out like what's their first movie or next movie going to be about? Again, going into what's the story that you're telling. It doesn't matter the film or the camera that you're recording it on. But if you have a really laid out, interesting story, it's captivating people, whoever your niche is, and then you know, they're gonna watch it regardless of what you've filmed it on, right? And people will see your storytelling skills and hire you. But I think it really depends on what's the goal. Are these people making money because of their camera skills, or their story writing skills, or their film writing skills, or their scripting skills? Like, what is the end goal of the people?
It's a really good question. So first, the kind of objections they have is that they don't have funding, or they don't have the network, or they don't have the time, or they don't have studied it at a film school, and they think they're not kind of trained or not good enough to pursue that career. And in terms of the thing they want, what they keep saying is like turn the images in their head into reality. So they're really drawn to the creative process, and they have a story inside them that they would like to go like live inside of a movie, YouTube, or whatever, any moving image form that can translate that story. And then they also oftentimes work from an impact position. So they maybe have experienced something, and then that made them angry, and they want to turn that into like a film to share that. Or they have like a purpose for their business or something, and they want to reach their goals for the business through the content and reach more people. So it's a communication tool in that sense. And then like the format where that happens, it can take many shapes. Like that is
So
a medium.
having help for them to, they have the I'm a creative person myself, and I can help strategize on other people's business all day long. But that's why I'm in here in this Goose's Call and in school, because when it comes to my funnels and my storytelling, I can't get it out. So, you know, I think a lot of us struggle with that. So starting in that point of like helping them to, I have the creative vision in my head. How do I tell it in a way that people can see it?
That's such a good point, Jen. Yeah. I reckon like what, this is another, like I guess, suggestion building off what Jen said. Like instead of like an onboarding session, you can call it a storyboarding session where you get straight to it. As soon as they come in, all right, I want you to tell me your idea for your content, and we'll get this freaking storyboarding right now. First session, no waits, no buts, bam. You're giving them value straight away. And then the idea in their head is like they can already envision it. And then when they go and consume your content, now they're consuming with a purpose. They're like, I need to know how to do the lights, because in this horror film that I want to make after the storyboarding call requires this type of lights. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. Something I do with them right now is to have like a mind map session where they throw me their favorite references, and we analyze kind of why they like it. And then we figure out if they're more drawn to fiction or whatever, and like help them understand their own needs through the stuff they already consume. And then get why they do it. And then get rid of the references, and just then have like a list of, we work with like psycho, whatever, drama. And yeah, that's kind of really nice. I have a call maybe. How it looks like. Yeah. So then we go through the interests, and then we do like a mood board based on that, and then develop like characters or something. And then it's basically getting them from like a lot of ideas that are like a bit half-baked to like a concrete scene with like actionable dialogues. And that is an example.
And then where is that in the classroom? So if you go in the classroom, is that kind of like one of the first modules or the first thing that they get?
Yeah, right now it's in the recordings. So I think like the classroom is pretty prototype-ish at the moment.
Yeah, I reckon that could like if I was doing that, I would put that in that, like the first thing would be like definitely the ideation. So it's kind of like they go into your community to be like, it's like a create button. Let's go, boom, let's start creating something. So that it's instead of you getting them on a call to be like, oh, talk about yourself. No, it's like, what do you want to create? let's do this, and I'll show you how to make this with limited equipment. Because I think like for creatives, I think the more they kind of like get confused or wait around or not like if they're unsure about what they need to do next, they'll just end up going back onto YouTube or being like, I don't know. It's like the start here should probably be like, let's go create your story right now, or turn your vision into life or something.
Mm.
That's cool. I like that line. Turn your vision into real life.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Find your story and then develop your script or something as a next one, or how will you go?
I think some people might be scared of scripts if they're doing videos with no talking.
Mm.
So maybe explain to them, like, I don't know, I'm not into the movie area. My son used to do film, but just maybe more telling your story, or they have to decide whether you said some people have an impact are coming from anger, or an impact they want to share a story, a real life story, or some people have make believe stories. So maybe there's a fork in the road where they have to decide how they're sharing that story, because sharing a story from real life impact is different than getting people to dress up as Lord of the Rings and dance around a castle or something.
Yeah. I have been working on the lead magnet for that, where they like get like a bit of a overview of paths they can choose, and whether they want to go with whatever, like pick your vehicle. So
what about the different styles? I mean, like, what about the different styles of filming so that they understand? Just thinking like back to 101 film school, like, do you learn about like what's stop motion versus I don't know, what's all the different kinds, so maybe is that something that's a next step that they have their tools, but what's the style that they'll be filming in? I don't know if that's something that's important, but again, all I know is from being a stage mom with my son being in movies. Yeah.
Because I guess like Jonas would be that answer, right? Like all the styles, and it's like if they have like, oh, they're unsure and stuff like that, you can clarify and kind of with the expertise and give them the solution. But like, I think as someone who is like, let's just say if they have an idea, right? Because I'm picturing myself as like a filmmaker that's just like coming in there. I'm like, okay, I got this really cool idea. I want to make, I have no idea how to make some, movies. I don't have really good equipment. I come across Jonas's page. I'm like, okay, this is sick. I'm going to go join it. And when he joins, I think they should be a lot of resources at the start to just be like, for people to essentially pitch whatever their idea is and like whatever they're wanting to make, and then it kind of like goes through a screen, which is you, Jonas, to be like, okay, this is cool, you could do this, and then afterwards it's in their head is not about information anymore, it's all about action and looking for like they already know what they need to look for now. It's like, okay, if I'm making a horror film, I need to do this. The light has to be like this. I'm gonna go look in Jonas's group and look at the stuff with the lights and whatnot. But I think like if you're not able to catch them quick enough, they're gonna either like not act on that idea. Because I think if someone wants to make content or make movies, they're very excited, because I know I am excited when I go make content myself, and I'm very like, okay, I need this. They're seeking the solutions and the next steps, and to kind of get that idea, like what Jen said, out of their heads and into something where like someone that's more I guess professional can then take it and be like, yeah, cool. Like if Skrillex, for example, looked at my stuff and was like, yeah, this is sick, you should go definitely release this, I'll be like, okay, wicked, cheers, bro. I'm gonna go make the artwork, make the content. I'll know exactly what I need to do next. but I kind of need that like confirmation, that like and the implementation of, okay, cool, this is what I need to do.
Which could lead to something like summarized behind the scenes of pre-existing films, or even like things, visuals that are just like motivating in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
essentially, it's like for example, like, you know, so you have the start here there. Like in the start here, it should probably be like the first thing when you go in there. It's be like, okay, welcome. Tell me who you are and tell me your movie idea right now. It's like that's the first thing you get out of them, because when you're like, you know, because every artist wants to be heard or wants to be seen. That's why like we're in the arts, right? It's like to self-expression. If like the first thing isn't that, I feel like you could lose them because they get overwhelmed to too many of these decisions when they just want to think about themselves. Do you know what I mean? So like as soon as they come into your community, if you're like, welcome to the community, what's the idea that you've got? Tell me everything about it. And then now they're like, okay, I have this form, filling it out, blah, 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 blah. And maybe, who knows, you have a form or something that goes into a GPT, which then turns it into a summarized idea, which you can really do on Zapier or Make, right? And that's like a quick, easy storyboard of a summary, so that they understand what they need to do. So that, because if you can help that, then they understand themselves. They can, that okay, now I just need to do this. Like if I'm giving like an example, like for what I did with mine was like when they want to know how to do social media, it's like there's no point me trying to teach artists how to do content and social media if they don't know what about themselves. So I get them to go and talk to an AI and I give them a prompt. Go give them a prompt, talk to an AI, come back, and they now have like a table being like, okay, this is my artist name. This is the type of artist that I am, type of genre that I make, the type of music that, like, why I like this, why I like that. Now they can go forward and be like, okay, the type of content I actually like and I need to make because I'm an extrovert is this. And then they know what to consume. They know what to make, rather than just going in there and aimlessly trying to they don't even know what they want. But I think it's like if you ask them more questions and then give them the information, this is who you are, they're like, oh, cool. So I actually have everything I need to make a film. I just need to learn this.
I think there's also opportunity, if you wanted it, to at that point also sell one-on-one time with you at a high cost. You know, maybe 90 minutes with you for $500, $600, $700, or someone said, I've done your first unit on storyboarding, and can I run my script or my story through you? And you strategize on that and say, oh, here's the next steps. So they can actually follow your program, or they can fast track it and pay whatever you want to charge for, 60 minutes, 90 minutes strategy session with you. And they get your eyes on it and be like, and you're like, yep, that's it. Next step is now go start, finding your lights, finding your locations, finding your actors, or whatever that is. So then they can actually, at certain points throughout your program, hire you with these consult sessions and check in if they wanted to, or they can just DIY it their whole time and just, hope that they'll get feedback when they post stuff in your community, for example.
Yeah.
So there's opportunity to put, like, if you want to do one-on-one time, but I do that often too. I have that integrated into my community, so people can come just before they launch a new product. They can get me on a call for 30 minutes so I can go over their site and make sure everything's working before they start sending traffic to it.
That's so sick. Yeah. Because it's so tempting, because it's just like, oh, fuck it, I'll just do it so that I can get that shit done out of the way, And you can kind of be like, okay, I'll give you everything here, but if you'd rather shorten the time span from here to here, and half the time you could always book in a call with me,
Get expert eyes, and like, especially if maybe they're doing it for a project. Maybe they're like, in a year I want to submit my film to such and such, and like, So they really they value you and your expertise, and they really want your help, but they also need to learn to do some of it themselves. But they're those people that need reassurance. I'm one of those people. You know, I'll do stuff when I'm like, someone reassure me. Did I do this correctly? Like, that's why I'm in here, you know?
Yeah.
So even though I've been doing this for 17 years, I'll still like set up something on Shopify and then be like, hey guys, to the other Shopify experts, did I do this right? You know, and they're like, why are you asking? So there's those people in your community that will pay that money to just be reassured. I think that goes for all of us.
Yeah, because they get so quickly lost inside any editing program or whatever. And like, I'm really surprised, and I know you've heard that probably like a lot, but like how like basic the level is where people start with the filmmaking. Probably it's the same as where I start with the business thing, but it's just like super low, like how to turn on a camera. Right, like, and I'm like, wow, okay, so let's take a video. But Diana,
I was the same. Sorry, I'll just, because I wanted to say something. I was the same when I started making my courses. People kept saying it, make it more simple, like how to upload a product, how to open the Shopify account. And I was like, they can Google that. Shopify has their own free university that they can go and do that. Why am I going to spend time making that? Like, that's stupid. Just go to Google. But then people would say like, but Jen, we want it from you. We don't care what Shopify says. We want you to teach us how to turn on the camera. We want you to teach us how to buy a light from Amazon for our movie. You know, like they want you to do it. Which when you're making it, you're like, oh, this is stupid. Like ChatGPT will even tell you how to do this. You know, so just don't keep it simple for those people, and any information you can give them, they'll eat it up, especially for the beginners. They want it from you, regardless of where else they can find it. Sorry, Diana.
Stage is all yours. I've been talking so much on those calls, so I'm very happy someone else is doing so. And we had that, Jonas, before. So I literally it's always difficult when you are ahead of things and people have a hard time translating. So you literally can make it the building blocks of a film, you know, like there is a light, there is like, you have the easiest scenes. So like the setup, you know, it's then you have like the smallest possible story you tell. So make it the smallest possible building blocks. And honestly, it's just like a full movie is nothing more than more of those building blocks. And it's just like rearranged more sophisticatedly and more of them and in a different sorting orders. And maybe you have someone with a little golden shimmer on it. But still, it's fundamental building blocks. And I think that would help a lot for the understanding. Like, very likely you cannot do it without any source to capture any moving pictures, you know. You cannot do it without light. You cannot do it without something you film. As basic as that. And there's beauty in it, you know, because like when you tell like, oh, and this building block could be then you also spark creativity. But you keep the structure so simple.
That's so sick. Yeah, keeping this, that's sick. Like Diana, what you're saying, because I feel like I actually did exactly what you just said there in like last week. I was like just trying to find make everything like more simplified. Like it goes such a long way. Yeah.
Don't simplify. That is an awful pitfall. People oversimplify. And that's getting messy. So it's literally you need to figure out what are the minimal important things, and don't try to make those too simple. But give it like, and it's interesting when you say like that is the building block. This is the element. And by the way, it can come in those 2, 3, 4 shapes, but it's still light. You know, you can have natural light, you can have spotlight, you can have whatever. You know, you could even have like gosh, how they are night, like the night camera, you know, like you could do everything, but it's about light. So you need to put things into. Then you also might have something like the core principle of what is the scene. A scene might have something like a background and a foreground. As simple as it is, that is like, so, oh, and then you also have like, when you go a little deeper, like when, like, oh, you have focus, you can have sharp and unsharp things. You put things in the fore and background, and then give 1, 2, 3 simple examples. Like you have a movement, or you have a zoom, you know, like so they are very basic, both like gestalt elements and also design elements. They are close but not the same, and then you can simply say like, and now have fun, or like create something unexpected, you know, like I remember, like, by the way, I also went to art school 35 years ago or whatever. So the interesting thing is like what many people don't get, and for me it was that boring, but for many people it was already very challenging. It's just like, you have those building blocks, just try to arrange them differently than you normally would. And that is such an interesting learning experience. Like in design, you would speak about permutation. So you literally would say like, okay, you have those 5 things. What can you do with that? And then you can also spark conversations about it. And then you start like, oh, I've one more. You can even make like children's plays out of it, you know, like those stories when you just put in one word and the other one has to put in another word, and then you make just like, okay, like how far can we go? And we don't do that with words, but we do that potentially with little film snippets. So I could imagine a lot of playful elements, but it's always going down to those fundamentals.
Yeah, building it up like Lego, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, like where your heart is, so like for all the others, so Jonas and maybe know each other kind of well, that artistic pieces, they don't come from telling them be artistic. You know, they come from, they discover their own voice. And that is even like when you learn singing, you know, you learn like, oh, this is how I can play with my voice, and then you make it into a melody, and then you make it into a song. Yeah. But you cannot say like, so yeah, we now start with, yeah, some people can, some people can't, some people now have to suffer if other people like me try. Like it's still like those when you sing, like you do so, so, and it's all a repetition of those things, and in the end you have a wonderful song. But the art and the artistic part is when you reach a certain level, and I know your heart is on that level, but you also need to give the people the time to come to that level and to enjoy the journey.
Yeah, something I need to think is that the voice is coming pretty late in that whole filmmaking journey. So the first works will probably be super bad, like not talking about good and bad, but why not frame it in a way that is like your first film will suck, and just, or maybe in a way that kind of takes the pressure of them to make like a film that is actually like something that will hit any festival or something. I think that's a huge barrier to go from like wanting to make a film and then like investing 2 years to make like a film where you think everything is well thought out, but then realizing actually like so many things are like missed, and how to frame that in a world that is like still empowering. To say like, okay, the first model is just like make a bad film challenge, because
yeah, I was thinking about that, but I literally would say like, say, I would not say make it bad, because that is bringing up awful things, but it's literally like, just like, you remember I asked something like that in your community earlier, and I would bring it up against, like, I would not ask them to make something bad, but like literally show us our very first and who made the first really, really terrible thing. I would just go into the past and to allow them to see how far they already came from their very, very first try to what they do now. And make the competition about the very first thing they ever tried and how terrible it was, and the motivation would be like, and see how far you come already, and now imagine you have the tools and the knowledge and the community to support you on your journey. Because like asking for doing things bad, that brings up a lot of strange dynamics, and it would also be not a good learning journey.
Yeah, so you're talking about case studies to bring that, like.
No, very simple. I would ask the people what they have on their phone as videos they already took, and if there's something that is really embarrassingly bad.
Yeah.
It's just like make it fun.
Yeah, make it fun and make it practical, I think.
Mhm.
I think it was like when like Goose was saying, yeah, don't have to like overthink into it. Because I reckon when you showed it to the school, like you've got a really good infrastructure there. I think it's you can tell like I can tell like you're talented and you're passionate like about it. You just have to, I guess, like enjoy that process and I ask a lot more to the people that you have in your community, because then when you ask them, then you will know what they need from you.
Yeah.
Because otherwise then it's kind of like in the creatives, in the arts, right? It's hard. Like it's the same thing with music. We started with 4 things. We did DJing, production, branding, and content.
Mhm.
Now all I'm doing is just content. It's
Mhm.
because they've all decided like, oh, they've already started making music themselves and without me teaching them. But the only thing that everyone can't do, no matter what level and no matter what genre of music, it's always the content. So I was like, okay, that enables me to just focus on, I guess, like one specific thing with that caters to everyone. Whereas in your industry as well, like you have to understand that there's people that have been doing film for years, people that have different taste in film, or like and some like have probably already have equipment, but they don't even know how to use it. So it's like finding out, I guess, like to tailor to one of those, the one that comes to you the most. It'll show up like eventually, and then you can literally just hone in on that one thing and then just really help and make it as practical and as fun to that one particular audience.
Yeah. I do have a call now with one of the students. I could ask her kind of how she would imagine that program to look like.
Yeah,
You think that's a good idea? Like
that's an amazing idea. Yeah, when I had like I had the first 100 people, like all Josh and I did was we just called every single one of them. We're like, what would you like to see? Who are your favorite artists? What are
It's already very complicated for them to answer. I would literally ask her something like, if you know the building blocks, in which part she would feel most insecure.
That's a good one.
That is giving her a yes, no, multiple choice answer. And you could also tell her like what she thinks she would enjoy most doing, like what she loves about film doing. And then pick from her answers if you can extra that. So questions like classic, like what do you struggle with? They do not really work, like if the people would know, they would know exactly what to search for. It's more like finding out the gap in between the answers they give and give them reasonable questions that lead to the outcome you're looking for without asking directly, because it's such a strange thing. What you really, really like says, yeah, I would love to make a film. You get terrible answers. I would love to be famous. So it's so complicated. So none of those things would really give you some flash on the answer. But if you say so if those are the building blocks, which one you find really complicated or difficult for you, and which one you find easy? So just put them on a scale, which are the easy ones and which are the hard ones. And
that's
then
a good idea, yeah.
So it's give them something that is tangible and what they actually can answer with ease. But still gives you insights of, okay, maybe more of this, maybe less of that.
Yeah, or just, yeah, totally. I agree. And also on that side, continue to record just the calls and extract some of the things that are recurring and then build that.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track. Honestly, bro, it's just I think the more you don't be too overwhelmed, because I think it's really easy in this to be like, holy shit, what do I have to do and stuff next? Yeah, but I think find the direction. I think what Deanna was saying was great. Ask the right questions and lead it so that to find the clarity in who you want to kind of, I guess, serve in that, and then things will become easier with time.
Yeah. I have like the live call now. Like
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
And
All right. I think this
I
call's
would
already gone
really
back.
like to, I value you so much, but like also I think like it should go to the community. And
Yeah, that's all good. I
Yeah,
hope
I
you
think
get to
it's a
sleep.
good idea because otherwise, I'm like, just
Yeah.
talking about the community doesn't make it better. So but do it
Yeah.
first.
So
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
take some action.
right, but thank
Yeah.
you. I
Thank
think
you so much, everyone. It's great
Thank you so
to
much.
have your input and to have a chat with you all.
jump now.
Yeah.
For
See you, everyone.
good night.